All right. Well, after 2 days of trying to get this thing going. Oh, this is just a print I'm going to be coming up with. It's a picture from this island Earth that I drew. And I want to do it Rizzo style. And if you don't know what Rizzo or Rizzograph is, it was a line of printers. I think I've done a couple of videos about this. But the idea is you only have 3 colors. And let's say my 3 colors are this blue. And let me show you how I would do it. Rizzo wet. 100%. Multiply. So you'd have, let's say I take this blue, and this will be my red. And then my yellow would be maybe this greenish yellow. And these become your 6 colors or 7 colors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then there's the 7th color in the middle. And this color here in the middle would be used for the outlines of the figure. And then the other colors would be in there. And then you get a little bit more variation. And I'll show you how much more variation there is. Even since my last Rizzo video that I did, I've learned much more about it. There's all kinds of stuff that you can be doing with this technique. So I'm thinking of doing that, and I did a couple others. I did this sort of Robbie the Robot sketch, and then I did a there's an Unga Bunga that I did, and it's each of the colors is kind of isolated to its own area, and so you could even take them, you know, slightly off register. Anyways, I'm still learning about it, but that's not why we're here today. We're here to actually start page 5. You can see at this point I've done all the text. I've refined some of the art to a degree. Not a huge degree, but to a degree. Let me get a black. So let's go ahead and get started on it. Okay, I don't even have a layer for it yet. Rename is ink. I-N-K. I was having this thought. And this is a related, but only in a more very convoluted way to the situation with Ed Piskor, that everybody is, it's on everyone's mind. People are not able to sleep at night because of this thing. What's going on? One of the things that I had gotten used to saying when I've encountered my own difficulties in the world of indie comics is that there are a lot of bullshitters in the world of comics, especially indie comics. A lot of bullshitters. And what I mean by that is the comics are BS and the creators sometimes are a bit suspect. I'm not saying it's all BS. I think there's definitely some real ones. I think Ed was for real. But not a lot of people are. Like, there's a dude. This never ceases to crack me up. There's a dude that is, I would say, fairly beginner cartoonist. But he's put together a Kickstarter and he's convinced other people to do the art for him. You know, as they do. But he's got like a whole series of like these videos where he's sitting at a drawing table. And the video starts out where he looks up and he's like, "Oh, hi there. It's me." I just happen to be working on this comic or whatever it is, and he says in the comic it's basically somebody else doing the art, and he basically just did the script. He might be doing some of the inking, but it doesn't look like he is, because the inking is very, very digital looking. So I'm assuming that the inking is coming with the art. It's that vector style with the traced figures, so it's like, how fake is this? And he's doing the whole thing where he's got variant covers already and everything else, and I think this is somebody who wants to be thought of as an indie comics creator. And that's not that unusual, because there's another person I know that does something kind of similar. Would really love to be thought of as some kind of indie cartoonist. But really, it's really about wanting to be thought of that way. There used to be a line, Scroobius Pip line, where he says, I see a lot of people that want to be called writers, but not so many people that enjoy writing. And that's a terrible paw or claw. What am I doing there? Anyway. Alright, it could deal with some action lines when we get to that stage. But it's not just that. It's not just that. I was looking at all of the crowdfunders and stuff, and there's crowdfunders that I'm supporting, and even crowdfunder creators that I'm supporting. And people who I think are for real. Like, I'll just say right now, I think the guy doing Air Rider is for real. I think Ken Incident is. He's had this idea for a long time. Really cares about his story. So it's not him. It's who I'm thinking of with this. But a lot of these things, it's all about appearing on these shows where they're trying to promote their crowdfunding books. And it really isn't about that. It's kind of about being part of the gang, And then the comics are they're created as collectibles. Every one of them. In fact, it would be just blasphemy to suggest otherwise. Has to ship in a Gemini mailer and be wrapped like fine china. Otherwise, there could be a crease in the cover. Which, sure, I don't think you would want to buy a comic that had like a detached cover or something like that, or missing pages, or was all messed up. But that's not what makes comics collectible at all. Here's a collectible comic. Let me just show you one. Advanced Dungeons and Dragons number 7. A collectible comic is a disposable item. That's what makes it collectible. And sometimes they're not in the greatest of shape. They're not printed on high quality paper. They're printed on newsprint. So no comics that are created now are not, none of them are collectible. Nothing being put out right now is quote unquote collectible. In fact, anytime you create something and you put the notion of collectability kind of built into it, you make it non-collectible by default. Now, here's what would make it collectible. You put out a limited run. There has to be some kind of significant thing about it. And people have to want it, This is an Ajax Archer figure from the 1950s. The rifle's broken off. It's low quality plastic. Stupid looking sculpt. This is highly collectible. I'll just tell you right now. Anything that's like super nice, super new, not collectible by default. It's just something you can buy at Amazon. Also, none of the stories seem to matter. What matters is the collectability. That's why all the variant covers always exist. And I was on a video last night, and somebody was trying to explain, well, you want to give something special to your backers for backing you or whatever. And I'm like, that is the collectability mindset. That's of course. And kind of implied in that is not just collectability, but this will be worth something someday. None of those comics are worth anything at all. I mean, it'll be worth something to maybe another person. That wants the cred of having it. So maybe they can be on a live stream one day, say, oh yeah, I got that one. I got it off eBay. Especially these slick covers. Crowdfunded slick cover. It's just terrible. Now, is it wrong to want to collect things? Not at all. I mean, I collect comics too. I just showed you one. Look, here's another one. Here we go. Highly collectible 2000 AD monthly Judge Dredd. This is an original from 1991. So this is 9 plus 24. What is that? 33 years old. Low quality paper. Look, a little rip in the cover here. Is it worth it? Yes. And you know why? It's not because it's old. That's not what makes it collectible. It's old because it's collectible because the story matters. It was a significant part of history. Nothing being done now matters at all. None of it matters. I watched another guy. This guy had built up a lot of his identity around the kayfabe channel. Was, of course, devastated by the thing that happened. And, you know, as a lot of people are. But he put out some post and it had him, once again, sitting at a draft table. An IKEA draft table, just surrounded by the pens and brushes and everything. And, like, his comic is like a little comic strip. A very insignificant little comic strip looking thing. And he's not seriously working on it. Our admiration is what it is. These guys have the best intentions too. I'm not saying their intentions are bad or they're lame or pathetic, but well, there's a bit of that. Some of you are wondering why I'm doing it. I'm doing it because I love my characters. I love my characters and I'm trying to learn how to draw and do all these things. But really it's about the story. That's why you see my just complete trash roughs. And I allow those to be filmed and I think, oh, my finished pages don't look so bad. You know, They're not too horrifying. They're telling the story. The story is what matters. How do we fix this? Well, I don't think there is any fixing it. I think it's all futile. I have no intention of stopping myself, but I think it is futile. And they did it to themselves. However, I get a lot out of it. A lot of sort of personal enjoyment out of creating and telling the story. I guess that's the case with the fakers too. I mean, that they get a lot out of, that's for them, quote unquote, being part of the community. Which I hate that word. It's about pretending to take on this role. So they can be on live streams and so on. I'm looking at this mouth here and I think I got it wrong. The angle of the mouth. More like that. Anyway, let's go ahead and take the thing out. I think this is somewhat true also. Even in Japan, the doujinshi, which I think the doujinshi are the ideal of something that could save us all. Doujinshi are it means circles, comic circles. Self-made comics. The problem with the doujinshi though is that it's almost 100% porn. It's like, it's at least 75%. I don't think that'll save anybody. At what point does it become a cliche? It's like having a band, but it's a cover band. They do bar covers, you know. They play standards. Alright. He's launching out of the sand. I don't think it applies to everybody, obviously. But it is kind of disheartening in a lot of ways to realize, in a sense, how futile it is. But it's not really futile. If you keep going, despite all of this, creating your story. You'll leave something to future generations. And they'll be able to appreciate who you were someday. That's wrong. Alright, boom. I don't know if I'm going to put that motion. I probably will put some kind of motion lines in here. Alright, this is the skid coming out of the sand. It's got a slight arc to it. Well, I like that one. Okay, hang on. Just trying to lock it into place here. Alright, I gotta still do the other skid, but... So this is the boat. The keel will be this sort of center line coming down. And then the skids are going up this way. There's more to this. Is it a rant? I don't know if it's a rant. There's more to this than even these thoughts, too. I'm also kind of annoyed that the indie comic space is sort of dominated by pros. That wasn't always true, was it? I don't think it was. And it kind of skews things because now everyone expects indie comics to look basically like pro comics, and I don't think that's a good thing. There should be a space for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Oh, it's a quadrilateral. I want to do like that. I'm trying to get this arc. There it is, something like that. And just oh, I see the problem. My little pen nib was coming off. Okay. So even a lot of the comics are basically they're pinups. They're not sequentials at all. Sequentials don't matter because the story doesn't matter. So every page has just got to show something cool. A character in a cool costume, landing in a cool pose, glaring off into the distance, staring meaningfully in a battle pose, you know? I've seen this a couple of times. Stop it. So frustrating. Just draw pictures if that's all you can do. That's what some of these guys do anyways. Alright, let's wrap this up for right now. It's going to take me a while. We're at 25 minutes. I've been trying to keep these things shorter. We're going to show the sand sailor getting knocked up into the air, gallows falling out of it. Everyone's kind of thrown off their feet. Managed to fix his hand a little bit. Gallows eventually lands, and then Rabbit Fighter goes over the edge. And I'm going to put in a joke about Magic Missile again. That's something I put in the original Isolde's. Rabbit Fighter's going to ask her if she has any battle spells. And she's going to say no. And I think he's going to say something like, "Don't you have Magic Missile?" She's going to say, "I have no idea what that is." These are the jokes. Alright, here we go. Alright, please like, follow, and subscribe. There will be more comics every day. Every day. And we will keep on with this until we reach the conclusion of our story. Good or bad, right or wrong. And we get through this. I wonder if there's a thumb, like a little thumb. Actually, looks kind of good over there. So if we put the thumb claw right here. It's 4 fingers. Thumb claw over here. Alright, that's looking a little bit better. Talk to you later.